a slight turn, left turn, right turn, change of scene, change of mood, hopefully. And we're going to talk to this person. This is Roche. She's over in Brighton, and she joins us in a Brighton studio to chat to us. Have a look at this. Roche is a musician from Fermanagh and a wonderful singer as well. And she's bringing back some of the old traditions, but in a new way. Have a look at this. So that's Roche, and as you can see, she wears, I suppose you call it a mask. Would you call it a mask, Roche?
A bit of an old covering.
Another
It's anonymous.
covering. You like to keep it stay anonymous, so you're not on camera at the moment, which is absolutely fine. You're in Brighton. You're over for, is it a showcase, part of the Great Escape Festival week?
Yeah, it's there's about 1,000 different bands playing, loads of different venues in Brighton, and it's kind of a way for people to meet people and schmooze and all that there.
Do a bit of schmoozing. Sure, no better woman. Have you enjoyed Brighton so far?
Brighton's a lovely city. Yeah, I've never been. Geez, I was just saying there, I've never seen so many people my age in one spot. I think Fermanagh is all just like geriatrics and farmers. Great. I love that, but it's nice to see some like-minded people about the place.
You want a bit of a mix of you want some geriatrics, some farmers, and some cool people as well. Tell us a little bit about your music, because from what I've read and what I listened to, and obviously looking at that clip as well, there's a bit of keening going on. There's sort of like an old Irish tradition of music, and I'm not saying traditional music, but an older sort of many people would know the term keening, which is, I suppose, it would be associated with funerals. That's where most people would know it from. Tell us a bit about why you're into this type of music, why you got into it, and you've made it quite modern. Like, what's going on there, Roche?
I know it's a bit different, isn't it? It's a bit modern.
It's great.
I just started. I listened to the first keening song by Caoineadh from Gweedore, back about a year ago or 2 years ago, and just decided to put my own kind of spin in it, chords and stuff. And the one you just heard there was another keen from a woman who we don't know her name, from the Aran Islands. And I just remember hearing it and I just listened to it maybe 4 or 5 times and just was completely entranced. And then did a bit of research on it and realized that this was a really normal and thriving, very common tradition at wakes, where pre-Christian times, people, like women, would have been employed to mourn and keen at the side of the coffin, like continuously, and taking turns between women in the village and learning all sorts of stuff, where they used to go bare feet and tear out their hair and get really cathartic with it. And there was stories of, I actually did lots of research and listened to the UCC professor on it, Marion Caulfield, did extensive research where she was saying how the women used to use it as a call to arms. If there was like a landlord taking too much of what he was supposed to, she would keen for that family who were evicted, and using it as a mode of resistance, and which I found really interesting. And then it was just abolished by the priests. The priests came and rode on their horses and shunned the keeners away. And you were said, I think, I can't remember exactly, but the penance was quite severe if you were seen to be keening at the wake. And then it's just I think Irish people, I think from colonization, probably, I don't know if like it's a psychological theory where they got used to this sort of suppression and then looked to the Catholic Church for some sort of stability, and then everybody just became brainwashed, and obviously the keening just completely was abolished. So there's only 3 recordings left of the keeners, and different people have been researching it and have said that we've no idea what they would have sounded like. It would have been probably very experimental sounding to us, very like guttural, and like the 2 ones that I have in the last album there are kind of kind of nice lyrically sounding. There's one by I think her name's Maggie something from the Aran Islands, and it's completely like guttural, like really ugly sound. Like if you imagine a wailing, it isn't a nice sound. So obviously there's just been this kind of obsession with, or a look towards order with Christianization of Ireland, and it's seen as really ugly and feminine, whatever you want to call it.
Can't have lovely ladies making noises like that.
No.
It wouldn't do. Do you think that Ireland is in a place then that we need? I mean, there has been a lot of, and I see it from the younger generation as well, gladly, that we are returning to some of the old ways and shunning some of the new ways and shunning some of the beliefs that we maybe, as you say, brainwashed. We're looking at the things that we believe and thought were right for us. I mean, I feel like a lot of the way we're going as a country, I mean, if you think about the, when we started getting some money, the Catholic Church obviously have been here a long time. We're not really, I don't think we're built to be a capitalist society. I think we're more, we should be, and we are naturally more attuned to the earth and nature. I think we've gotten away from that. But a lot of things have happened to us. Do you think that we are, obviously we're starting to look at these things, and there's a need to go back to the old ways maybe?
Yeah, like a necessity for sure. Like this resurgence in this kind of pagan, like the etymology of it is just country. Like it's just this country way of life. And in my sets now, I'm looking at different traditions we used to have, like the cursing. Like we have a really rich way of cursing people who are bad to us in the village, like maybe badly positioned on a windy day and all these kind of so I have a song like that, and then like my dad's a farmer, and he has different like cattle calls. I'm sure if you know anyone in the countryside, and he goes like suck 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 suck, or chick.
Oh, suck. Yeah.
So, and I use that and everything, and just going back to, because I think it's just we're starting to gain some sort of confidence with it's like 30 years after the conflict in the north as well, and we're starting to because I think like as an artist you have to know yourself very well, and to do that you kind of have to look at where you came from. And I came from like a traditional Irish music background, the GAA and all that shite as well, for me sins. But gaining confidence. Like I remember you're talking about the sort of begrudging side of things at the minute, which is really scary. But I remember something Martin McGuinness said was really stuck with me. He was like, I don't begrudge another culture because I'm so confident in my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that we're starting to see now. Like looking back at different traditions, you have Lankum there and John Francis Flynn, and I started to look into different accounts of the wake. So in my sets it takes place inside a wake. I have like sandwiches at the back and stuff like that, and there used to be accounts of just debauchery in the wakes, wake games and passing the tobacco around, and matchmaking, loads of matchmaking. So
Finnegan's Wake, of course, a great song that sort of like will tell you all you need to know about a good wake.
I actually need to do we cover that now. Am I allowed to say the word?
Say whatever you want.
Riding. Am I allowed to say that?
Riding, yeah.
Riding.
Riding.
Yeah,
So
riding.
there's all sorts going on at the wake: riding, drinking, passing
Well,
the
that's it.
tobacco,
There was loads of kinds
dancing.
of that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to look at that.
Are you bringing riding back? Is that what you're
I
saying?
actually am, yeah. We had a bit of an Irish spell of the old, anyway, sure.
Of being a bit too, yeah, we lost touch with our sexuality. I mean, with our
Yeah.
expressing ourselves and being ashamed. The shame, I think, is
The
a
shame
big
is
problem for the
definitely,
Irish.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely loosening up with us. Like,
Mm.
geez, I know all of my friends' parents just have this kind of very shameful and, um, yeah, it's kind of fear of, um, being vulnerable, and I think
Yeah.
vulnerability shouldn't be
Mm.
so shunned and
Yeah.
yeah.
We shouldn't worry about being vulnerable and showing emotion. And I think, especially, we look at mental health issues, and it all comes back to just being allowed to be yourself and express
Yeah,
yourself in whatever way
100%.
you want to
Yeah.
express yourself.
Yeah.
And vulnerability is a huge part of that. So with the recent, I mean, I have to ask you about the kneecap controversy.
Mm.
Them having something to say about Palestine and all, like, right, they've been there saying those things right from the start.
Mhm.
Long time before this most recent attack, a sustained attack on Palestine and Gaza from Israel. Um, the I mean, obviously it's been ongoing, but the more devastating one. How do you feel about what they said and musicians and the reaction to it? Like, we didn't really react very well. Official Ireland didn't react terribly well to it. I feel like we reacted with. I'd be ashamed of how we reacted.
Oh, it's fucking sorry for cursing,
No,
but
you're okay. You're okay.
absolutely disgraceful. Yeah, I mean, it's all just complete distraction. Like, yeah, the likes of these celebrities that have so much power and influence speaking out and just being completely brainwashed as well. It's really upsetting to see, but it's great to see the likes of bigger artists like Kneecap and Fontaines, and I can't remember the other few.
Murder Capital actually
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
play a few
yeah.
gigs over in Germany as well, which is great. And then you got all those artists signing that petition. Everybody from Paul Weller, a lot of UK artists, Paul Weller.
Yeah, it was
Um,
really great to see. But this is it. Like, as long as people still stand by it and not weaken up with, even like with the likes of labels. Like, hopefully labels are still able to back them and not get too industrialized. I know, like, the likes of Sony and what's the other ones? Warner. What's the other one? Forget.
Universal, Warner,
Universal.
yeah,
Yeah,
some of the bigger ones. Yeah,
yeah.
they'd be more skittish about stuff like that because
No
I
offense,
suppose that.
it's just the word. But,
Mm.
yeah, the independent labels seem to be still supportive, and which is just brilliant. It's always been on the right side of history is the most important thing. Yeah.
Yeah, really good to see young people speaking out, and I suppose it's apt that you're bringing back keening. Like, do you feel like when, as a young person, when you're up there, even though you're performing maybe all keens from women who lived a long time ago on islands, probably never left those islands, but what do you feel inside you when you're keening? What are you, I suppose, speaking about or keening about?
It depends, whatever just comes into my head. I don't like to force it. Like, my drummer there, Josh, also a massive activist, and if we ever be talking about something that's going on, which is most of the time, that'll just come into my head. Or um actually, the reason why I got into keening was, I seen Marion Caulfield research, and it was at an ecological grief kind of conference, and I know a lot of people find comfort in the keen in that way. There's been a few workshops and different things, and I'd be very connected to that whole
Theme,
thing.
idea.
Yeah, just yeah.
As a sort of as a type of, I suppose we might call it therapy, but something that is physical that you can do that makes you feel better. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, like the
Mm.
catharsis of
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm just trying to do all the time is
Mm.
like, yeah, my musical output has always just been to make big loud sounds and scream, and the whole keening catharsis big soundscapey thing is just like, it all came to align with that, because it's just how I enjoy express myself, just in that big cathartic way.
Yeah. I think it's great because it seems to fit that, I suppose maybe you might think a lot of artists think that music kind of is given to them, and there's some sort of vessel, but it seems about right that a young person like yourself is, for some reason been drawn towards keening and decided to make this album, and it just seems about the right time, and maybe more Irish people will pay attention to that. I suppose that's the hope, isn't it?
Yeah, we're always, unfortunately, Ireland's always, I don't know, I see a lot of
shame. We're going to use the word shame again.
Yeah, shame, and then just like looking to other cultures to do our own thing on what they've done, and I think we just need to start, looking inwards, and just believing in the magic of all the things we've lost. The language, even just itself alone, so much richness in it, so much. I've only scratched the surface. I feel like, just with so many, even the crafts of Ireland, like, is so rich, and yeah, because it is an indigenous thing, like.
It is, yeah. You're starting a whole new movement. I mean, I was on the Aran Island. I go a bit, but I was there recently, and it's like a living, breathing museum because it was pretty much unaffected by, Viking attacks or the famine or whatever. So you've got, like, every time you turn a corner, there's another church. There's one clump of 7 churches in one area, but it's like a living, breathing museum. Everything just kind of like, almost like the Mary Celeste. It's just everybody left, and it's still there. It's a beautiful place, but it has you feel an energy there.
Yeah, even with the stone throwing festival now, I think they've brought that back, and different things.
Yeah,
it's like 100 years, 200 years, it was gone, and now it's back.
Yeah, well, look, the soon they start bringing druids back, I'll be happy then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd happily go and speak to a druid on a Sunday morning for half an hour.
Different. Maybe you're one yourself with the headphones on you. You're speaking truth now. Yeah, I think Drew is oak, and then Vid is knowledge. So it's just like like a person.
I'm like an old oak with a bit of wisdom. Yeah, could be something I might look getting into that. Thanks very much. Definitely glad I spoke to you today now. Listen, it's just for anybody who's interested, where can they, I presume they can just, your music is on, do you promote Spotify or Roche Music is probably a good place to go?
And then Roche Music.
Bandcamp. Yeah. So go to Bandcamp, pay for your music, Roche Music as well. Have you more gigs coming up that you'd like to tell people about?
Bristol Cube on the 12th of June.
Yeah.
Is this mostly Irish or English?
Yeah, Ireland, please.
But
people can find them on Roche Music, I presume.
Yeah, on the Instagram, sure. I don't know.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Why should you? You're too busy.
That's it. That's very important.
Being the musician. And the anonymity, just for anybody just joining us now, Roche isn't on camera because she wears a face covering. Is that part of the keening thing? As
it kind of was, and then I just like it. I don't like to be
recognized.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. No, I think there's a lot to be said for just going out and doing your stuff and not be hassled. And you can still go down and get your chicken roll down the garage.
Yeah, I was thinking of, like,
the farmers and geriatrics will leave you alone.
Yeah, that's it. Oh no, it couldn't go anywhere down there.
Yeah, everyone knows you there.
Yeah.
We'll leave it there, Roche. Thanks very much. I'll let you get back to enjoying Brighton. I believe it's very sunny over there at the moment.
It is lovely now to see. Now it's gorgeous. Yeah.
Will you get in the water?
I heard there was a bit of Nile spillage down in the kind of what's it called? The plant where there's nuclear thing between England and Ireland. Sellafield, that's the one. So
no, Sellafield.
But sure, everything's sure we're all made of Sellafield now, I'd say, at this stage.
Yeah, there must be.
And silage, Sellafield and silage.
That's the title for your next album done.
That's it. Yeah.
Roche, thanks very much for talking to us. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for all your work.
Best of luck with everything. Right. Good luck. Now